Good morning, guys. Monday, September the 8th here in Central Illinois. Another cool one. Going to get warmer during the week, but it ain't going to be that bad. Low dew point, so that makes the warmer heat temperatures a lot more bearable. But I thought I'd show you what we're up to, how we're progressing with the beer car, the beer reefer. We've been working on the roofs. I've got this roof done. What I've decided to do is I'll try to explain the color combination. I get confused when I get to talking about it because I don't know exactly which way I want to go on it. But you saw this roof a couple of days ago. It was totally black, and I masked it off and I shot the top, the catwalk. Turned out really good. And this one I painted yesterday. Now I'll mask the top off on this one, and the catwalk will be black on that. So what we're probably going to do, or how I'm looking at doing this, is if I use the black roof with the red top, then the body of the car that I use, and I'm building two of these. Since I got two, I might as well do two. So to go with that roof there, with the black roof, this body would be painted red. And the door would be masked off and painted black. And then, of course, I would highlight the truss rods, the steps, the ladders. That would be painted black. If I'm going to use the red roof with the black catwalk, then the body would be a black body with a red door, and I would probably highlight everything else in red. And then we would go ahead and we would apply our label. Here's something else that I came across. It looks good. This is nothing more than a neck label off of the body. It makes a nice little combo there. Now, will I use it? I don't know. I haven't decided yet because I've got a rubber stamp that I'm having manufactured. It's a, if I remember correctly, it's a 2x4. That's the size of the stamp. And it will be Tube City, federal tax paid, blah, 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 all that kind of information that used to be on the side of their crates or their bottles and stuff like that. We'll see how that works out. I'll practice with a little rubber stamping and see what I get. But if I decide not to, then what I'll probably do is use like the Tube City here. And then below it, I'll use my Chicago Northwestern rubber stamp, either that rubber stamp or this rubber stamp. The other thing that I'm doing, and you may notice these little clips here, these are door handles. Now I made these are easy to make. As you can see, they blend in quite nicely. Those are an 1/8 of an inch. They're just sheet metal, 1/8 of an inch wide, and it is a 3/4 of an inch piece of tin that I formed to make the handles. And this is the car I'm going to put them on. I've also taken, this one's already got temporarily mounted trucks, and what I told you that I used on those, these happen to work just great. As I told you before, these are Clevis pins. They work absolutely fantastic for this kind of stuff. These are 3/16 by 1/2 inch long. And they just happen to fit right in the split rivet holes. This is what I've used. This is off of the eyes. You can't see it very well. It's a split rivet. And I didn't know what they were called. A friend of mine out on Facebook by the name of Eric Karsten, he said, well, this is what you need. Well, he sent me a page of split rivets. Well, you can buy them anywhere out on the internet. I had no idea what they were. I just remember them. You remember when we were in grade school and high school, where we would have papers and they would give us those, basically a split rivet. You put it through your binder paper and you bent the ends down. Well, that's exactly what this is. This one here, I'm going to turn this upside down so everything falls out. This one here None of this was left. Well, this one right here is where that came out of. And like I say, I'm going to use the clevis pins. I'll buff off the. Doing this all one-handed and it don't work good. These have been blackened. You got to take that off before before you solder them. But once you take it off, put your soldering iron on the top. I use liquid solder in most cases. It melts it and they stick really well. It works real well. And what I'll do is, like I told you, I made these handles, and there's a very powerful magnet right behind this door. What I'll do, there you go. Now what I'll do is this will be set up here with the magnet, and I'll solder it in place. Now, as you can see, there's old solder here from the other handle that got busted off. And what I use is, if you've never used this stuff, you ought to buy you some. This is solder wick, super wick. I will put this tape down on here, right on the top of that solder glob, and I'll touch my iron to it, and it will suck it all up. It will literally clean this door. If you work with it just a little bit, it will take every bit of that solder off of there, which will give you it'll tin the surface, but then it will leave you a flat area that you can take, and there your handle is. You solder it in place. So I've made these before. These are easy to do, and they're true to the Ives door handles. So we'll get that on there. I'll get the other side, and maybe with a door handle on here, I can work this door looser. It was stuck. Took a lot of work to get this thing loose. The other side is like it's been glued in place. So I'm going to try and work it loose. I want to work it loose enough that I can clean up the solder, because it's the same on the other side. And let me show you. There's the magnet, and these are the magnets I use. And they're very powerful magnets, but I had to back off on some of them. Some of them were so powerful that the only way you could get them off was slide them to the edge. You had to have an edge that you could slide them to and get them off. Also, you might find this hard to believe, but if they're a little bit bigger than that and they're the real powerful ones, they will pinch your fingers when they snap together. I've had it happen. I thought the guy that sold them to me was just joking. He wasn't joking. I pinched it. In fact, I gave them away. I bought a less powerful set of magnets. But that's what I use on this for soldering. I've used it for a number of things. So, like I say, I'm hoping to get this door loose enough that I can remove that solder and put the other door handle on, and then I'll work it back and forth and hopefully get it loose. If not, I don't really care. If I'd like the doors to work, but I've found that sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, even on the original stuff. So what if I have to do, I'll spray paint it in place. It will be just fine. So that's what we're up to. We're moving slowly on this stuff. I got other things going on. The day before yesterday, I went down to Springfield, Illinois, and priced me a garden shed, and I'm thinking about buying it and having it delivered out here, because I could then empty out my garage and move a lot of this work material from the train room down to the garage. I'd have a lot more room in the garage. Can just do a whole lot more work and not have to worry about tripping over it or not getting my Jeep in, that kind of stuff. It's become a bit of a hassle. So this is where we're at. Like I say, well pleased with this satin paint. The roofs look good. And the next thing I'm looking forward to do is primer these bodies. I told you when I sandblasted them, that raw metal, it'll start to rusting. Well, I get brown places showing up on it from the rust, even in the low humidity. So I'd like to get everything soldered on and done the way I want it. and then I can go ahead and shoot some primer on it. So I already had to take and realize that the rules were exceedingly difficult to get on and or off, and I couldn't get them back on, so I had to do some slight modifications. Right now, I got it to where they will basically slide on. A little bit of effort, but they will slide on, and they'll slide on straight. So I got to be careful not to let anything build up with paint, or I'll never get them on. All right, guys. Enjoy your Monday. Welcome back to work. Enjoy this cool weather. I'm sure we're going to get even cooler as the time goes on. We'll talk with you later. Be careful. Toodaloo.